Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back again. Second stream of the day. We're full. We're back in action, people. We're back in action. We are here. Make sure you smash the like button on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you haven't watched the stream before this, I did talk about it in more kind of detail. So make sure you do check out that video. I filmed it about 11 this morning. For those that are around the world waking up, make sure you do check it out. Big up to everybody who's here. Big up to you, Braff up top. Big up, mate, from Togo. Big up to you, Revante. Just come back. Yeah, man. Big up to everybody, man. Big up to everybody. Big up Realist TV. Sophia's in the building. Yeah, man. Ten Hag has spoken, people. Ten Hag has had his say. And he has said a few interesting words. So we will get into it to the press conference reaction. I normally don't do press conference reaction because I always think to myself, yeah, the manager don't really reveal a lot. He's very, very calm. He's very, very meticulous in what he says in that regards. But yeah, let's get straight into it. Make sure you smash the like button on the video. The manager has been speaking in the press conference, and a couple of his quotes are out already. So, Ten Hag on Jadon Sancho. He says, I think everything is said. So the squad is strong, in good spirits, and good mood going into the game. So he basically says, I think everything is said. So he's looking at it from what has happened in terms of the statement that Sancho did. He said what he said. Everything's been said, and he's trying to, rattle the kind of the squad and make sure what are we together. So he started off in a good note. He goes back onto that game. He says, we close the game. We work on the feedback, the data team feedback. We played very well against Arsenal. We trained very, very well. We played very, very well. We deserve much more in Arsenal. It was not our side. And that was the outcome of our analysis. And you see our progress against Arsenal, against a good Arsenal. At minimum, we have to get a draw there. And we could have won. We come back and we trade well. We are ready for it. Notice how many times he uses the word train. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's trying to do this on purpose, but he said the word train there a lot. One, how many times he said that here? Two, they said it a couple of times in there. You know what I mean? And again, you know what I mean? I think that analysis and what he's talking about there, I think there's some good points in there. I think we did play well against Arsenal to the standard that I think for me isn't quite there, if I'm being honest with you, but better than what we're used to. So I can't lie. I think for me, what he said there, I think we did deserve a draw at least. I agree with him. But yeah, listen, he's looking back at that game thinking we should have got more from it. Let's go back. Let's keep going. Let's say here. So he says here, you have sometimes setbacks in seasons. Players are injured or for other reasons are not available. So you construct a squad, and the squad is very good, and the players who are available and motivated to give a good performance. So he's alluded to there that we do have injuries. You have to reconstruct the squad. Yes, Johnny Evans and them man are there. It is what it is. And he goes here, and the players who are available and motivated to give a good performance. Again, using the word motivated, talking about players who then come off the bench and go and do something. They have to perform. Aye, listen, let's see what he says. Carry on. Ten Hag on Maguire criticism. I've said many times it's disrespectful. Doesn't deserve it. He's a great player, gives us good performance. It's crazy how it works. Harry has had to block this. Bro, listen, he should have moved in the summer. He should have moved in the summer. The way I kind of look at it for me, yeah, is that Harry Maguire, when you deep it people, yeah, I don't condone abuse and whatnot. I think for me, he shouldn't be getting the abuse. But when I look at it, it's like we keep talking about Maguire. This situation should not have happened. He should be gone. He should have been gone in the summer. So this idea that we keep talking about Maguire is tiring, man. I really don't care too tough about Maguire and what's going on in the background. I just want for we as fans wanted him to move on in the summer. So the fact that we're talking about him and then we have to say, oh, this and that, like criticism's too much, da da da. It's like it should not have got to the situation. So Maguire, for his own sake, should have removed himself from the situation and left the football club and removed himself from the toxicity that is around the football club. So again, it's just a mess in that self as well. We can't even get players to be sold, and then we have to deal with the backlash after. It's not good enough, man. Ten Hag on how Harry Maguire dealing with criticism. Good. You see his career. A lot has come. He has to block it by good performances. Yeah, right. Good performances. Yeah, right. Man said good performances, you know. Are you mad? Are you absolutely mad, mate? There ain't no good performances. A, you won't be playing, and B, bro, like he's not playing well. It's as simple as that, man. He's not been playing well. I can't remember the last great performance he had. Yeah, he's a fifth choice for a reason, man. So it is what it is. But again, he has had to have a lot of criticism go his way, and he's still out there fighting. So listen, fair play to him in that aspect, because I would not have took it. I would have moved on me if that was my situation. Um, it is also with the generation about team construction, the group dynamic, and always about the team. This is above everything else. But within that, everyone plays his role, different characters, and you have to manage those characters. Yeah, you have to. This is what you are paid for, my friend. You know what I mean? And this is what, ultimately, I always feel like, the manager has had a lot to deal with. When you look at the different people that are in the football club, you have to manage those characters. People that don't want to be involved in as part of a squad, people that want more minutes, people that want etc. etc. Everybody wants something, and you as a manager have to deal with all of that. So finding that team cohesion for me is spot on, and I hear that. I absolutely hear that. Let's carry on. This is where it gets interesting. Ten Hag, strict lines is what the club asked me because there was no good culture before last season. So to set the standards, this is what I did, and it's my job to control the damn people. Damn. He's going in there, people, man. He is going in. Strict lines is what the club asked me because there was no good culture before last season. So to set good standards, this is what I did, and this is my job to control the good standard. I hear him on the fact that there is no good culture at Man United. I agree with him fully. I think, you know what, the football club is rotten to the core. Um, whether I agree he should have said what he said is a different matter, but ultimately you still have to fix the situation. Ultimately, you know what I mean? You live and die by your sword. If you don't act in a certain way, people will walk all over you. So I feel like for me, I hear his point. I understand his point, and you've got to set the standards. You do. Ultimately, this is why we need to have a hierarchy. The manager's in charge. The manager's in control. When he leaves the football club, obviously, we then have a new manager. We're under his control. But ultimately, he doesn't need a lot of problems. He needs peace, not problems. Um, and here, like I said to you, he needs to have strict guidelines. That's either becoming late, as maybe the situation was. We don't know yet. If it was late, then we don't. We need to find out, and he probably won't go into it in that regards. But again, what happens behind closed doors should stay behind closed doors. But if people fall out of line, then you have to be, you have to get punishment. It is what it is. Um, Ten Hag is never someone. It is never someone makes one mistake. It's a whole process before you come to a certain outcome about strict lines. There is a structure to cross the line, so you have to be strong. So basically, in listen, basically he's having a shot here at Sancho when you actually deep it. Like, he's not saying it's one time that a situation happens and you are then reprimanded or kind of taken out of the squad. This is as a result of a couple of times. Basically, it's a whole process before you come to a certain outcome about strict lines. So if he feels like certain people are taking a mick, what I mean, it's not the first time I can allow it. The first time I can say, you know what, fair enough. What I mean, you've done a mistake. But when it happens a lot of times, he needs to build the kind of key structures in terms of his what he's trying to do. So I hear it, man. It's very a lot of indirects are going on, man, and a lot of situations that maybe Sancho is part of. Not only Sancho, there's people before him that have been like that. Maybe Martial, maybe people who have not been training well, people who have not been in the team as a result. Maguire's another one. Maybe Donny van der Beek's another one. People that have not had game time, have not been in around the team. We don't know yet, So that one there is a bit damning. I can't lie to you. Ten Hag on how Antony will be out for. He says no idea. Damn. No idea, people. Nobody knows. Nobody knows where he is, people. Nobody knows where Antony is. That's the reality, people. Nobody knows where he is, man. I mean? Where Antony will be and how long he will be out for. I mean? It ain't easy. But I tell you what, man, he's got to find a solution, man, while he's out. I mean? He's got to find a solution. But the fact that we're having no time frame is obviously concerning for the team, man, when you deep it people, man. You know what I'm saying? So no idea coming from the manager there. He goes on to say, he says here, it's typical. We have two great games in the spring against them, Brighton, and we have to play tomorrow to our best because they will sacrifice and suffer because it gives you a lot of options. So really looking forward. Big, tough game, people. Tough game. He says here, of course, Antony is disappointed, but he is okay. Yeah, listen, bro, listen, I can't lie to you. Yeah, I don't know how Ten Hag will deal with the situation as well when he comes back. Like, it's going to be interesting to see how he deals with it because he will have a lot of distractions. Whether Antony trains or doesn't train a lot, but again, it'll come back to the point of if he's charged and if he, again, like I said to you, the club deemed that what he we shouldn't bring him back. What does Ten Hag do then? Does he say what? No, if he's available to play, he can play. Let's see what the situation is with Antony and maybe the favoritism towards that. Does he bring him back into the fold? Does he allow him to come back into it? So there's a lot in that regards with Antony. You know what I mean? And obviously the relationship that they've got together is something that obviously we know a lot of. So yeah, man, I look at it and I feel like for me, yeah, with the Antony situation, if you look at it from the police point of view, that will take at least a few months, man. You've got to collate all the evidence. You've got to go then to the judge. I mean, when did they set a trial date? These situations they take a long time, and you look at it with the Sancho situation. That took what, a year and a bit. Sorry, and Greenwood situation, a year and a bit that took. So it will take a lot of time, man. So yeah, 100%. A bit more on Sancho is that obviously right now he's training with the under 21s. He's training on his own, sorry, as well. Again, what happens with that one? Because the manager has come out and basically not referred to his name. He said he as well. So yeah, man, it's crazy. Some positive news, people. Lisandro Martinez and Lindelof are fit. So there are positive news, people. There are positive news. Lisandro Martinez and Lindelof are fit. So we don't have to watch Johnny Evans and Maguire play. That's good news for everyone. You don't have to watch him. So Lisandro, I was a bit worried. If there's one player that I wanted in the team, even though he's not been playing well, if I'm being honest with you, to his standards, yeah, I think for me, Lisandro Martinez had to be fit. Lindelof as well. Again, he's had an okay start to the season. Again, we needed him. Can't have Maguire, we can't have Johnny Evans. So the fact that they're both fit and ready to play, that is good news. We've not heard anything about Amrabat yet. I don't think there's anything regarding Amrabat, if I can see, because we need to know the situation with Amrabat. I didn't see any training pictures, to be honest with you. Did anyone see any training pictures today? I didn't see any training pictures. I didn't see him in any videos. So I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think he's gonna be available tomorrow. That's just my own opinion. I think it's gonna be too soon for Amrabat to come in. I think when you look at Ten Hag, remember Casemiro when he came in to Manchester United, it took him how many games to get into the first team? Remember McTominay kept playing and kept playing and kept playing. So I don't think Amrabat will be ready for a long while. That's just my own opinion, people. So, I think for me, it'll be a couple of weeks until you see a fit and ready Amrabat. Maybe you might see him towards the end of September, fully fit. But right now we've got Ericsson, we've got Casemiro, we've got Bruno Fernandes, McTominay. If McTominay is not fit for tomorrow, I swear to you, this guy, I don't know what it is with Man United because he seems to be ready for Scotland, but then when he comes to Man United, the guy's never ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you never ready? You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand it, man. The amount of players we've got out injured is ridiculous. We have got out injured Mason Mount. We have got out injured Malacio, Shaw, Varane. Who else is out there? Obviously Sancho, Antony. You know what I mean? The amount of players that are injured or out is absolutely mad, bro. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, man. So many players are just out. You know what I mean? So we need them. It's a long season. Now it's getting to the point now we're playing twice a week. We play Bayern Munich, then we play Crystal Palace on the week on the following Saturday. Then we play Crystal Palace on a Wednesday. Then we play on a Saturday again. Then we play on the again Champions League. So this ain't no mess around, people, man. We are in serious, serious situation. So anybody that thinks this is a joke this season, yeah, we need everybody. And I don't care what the qualities of everyone is. Like everyone could be bad. I don't like Mason Mount might not be my cup of tea, but we still need him available. Apparently, we're hearing Kobe Mino is still a couple of weeks away. He's not nowhere near ready. So we need it, man. We need players to get back in there, man. Um let's carry on. Let's see what else the manager has been saying. Make sure you guys are liking the video, people. Hit the like button on the video. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel. Yeah, you know what? I don't think he's said anything wild, in this. He's had a couple of indirects at Jadon Sancho, talking about the culture at the football club. But you know what? Ultimately, I don't think he said anything crazy. I think he wants to nip this in the bud. I do think there's an element of him that he thinks, you know what, I should not have said maybe what I said in public. I should have kept it private. But then he's not like the reaction of Jadon Sancho or what he said and what he's come out in public and made a statement. I don't think he's like that. And I think he's took it very, very to heart. I think he's took it to the point where he's then talked about favoritism and maybe scapegoat and whatnot and da da da. So I think he's took it personally, and the manager don't want that. He don't want a situation where he feels like he's in the wrong when I helped you. He's looking at it. I helped you in that period when you were down, and why you coming out and making a statement again? That's what he's thinking. So it is what it is, man. Sancho is a disgrace for this. He can't play any more games for United. I don't think he will, man. I don't think he will. I think this is game over for Sancho. I think the relationship is not it's not, it can't be managed anymore. I think this is it for Jadon Sancho, if I'm being really honest with you. January's got to look at another club, man. He's got to look at another a club who will invest in his time and whatnot, because I don't see any future for him at Old Trafford anymore. I really, really don't. That's just the way I kind of look at it right now, people. Evan Ferguson is most likely out. Estupiñán and Benoit. No ways Estupiñán out. Oh my God, that is. I need to take him out my fantasy. I need to take him out my fantasy. Bro, Evan Ferguson being out is a big, big plus for Man United. I really do. Estupiñán as well. He's a good player. He's had a good start to the season. So I'm liking the fact that he's not available. Ansu Fati is ready, apparently. That's what the manager said here. Ansu Fati is ready. El Ghazi to replace Sancho. Bro, don't do this to me. Listen, don't do this to me, bro. Are you mad? Are you mad? Oh, gosh, man. That's crazy. El Ghazi, man. Can't believe we were actually talking about that on Monday night. Like, we were actually discussing El Ghazi. You know how mad that is, people, that we were discussing that? I know it was only reports, but the fact that is crazy. United out here ruin players, proper talents. Yo, listen, I've named it on my show before, man. Like, we ruin talents, innit? Like, everything what Man United do at the minute is that we ruin talents. We ruin everything about Man United, in terms of talent. It's like we need to stay away from talents. Like, any player like Liao, if we get linked with any player, just stay away, man, because we just literally ruin every player. So it's like, what's the point anymore? What's the point? Like, generally, you can't get excited about a player anymore. You just literally can't, people. So I look at it and I think, you know what, man? Yeah, man, allow it in it. Allow it, man. Allow it. Seriously. Donny van der Beek. There's so many players that I thought, yeah, we're ready. We're ready. Like, let's do it. And it just hasn't happened. Um, doesn't train well, but was the best player in pre-season. Listen, you know what it is for me, yeah? This is why I think for me, something deeper has gone on wrong. Like, Jadon Sancho was probably in the best, not moment in his career at Man United, but the best feeling. He's played well in pre-season. I seen him, he was smiling. He was like, I looked at it and I thought, this has to be more than training. This has to be more than you know, training on the pitch to the standard of Ten Hag. Again, what standards are to Ten Hag is a lot, man. It could be the fact that you haven't come on time. It could be the fact that you've maybe said something that you didn't want to do in training, or you maybe wanted to play a certain position. There's so many things that we don't know about, man. And that's where I look at it more from Ten Hag, is that I think for me, Jadon Sancho must have said something that just has making the relationship broken. He has done something that is very, very bad that the manager has not liked very, very much. And it's not also not liked, but also you've not took him to Arsenal game where we are struggling for players off the bench. We are struggling for players in general. Like, you haven't taken him. So it's got to be more serious than that. If McTominay didn't train well, I still think McTominay does go in that squad. And again, this is hypothetical, yeah. But if McTominay didn't train well to the standard that the manager won, I still think McTominay does get in that squad because he's of somewhat an asset to what we need. Because we didn't have any midfielders on the bench, did we, on that game? So he would have been used. But I feel like, again, it comes down to the fact that what have you done? What has it made it severe that, you know what, you have been dropped fully from the bench, from the squad, sorry, and you now are training with the under 21s or just in general training alone until you say sorry, until you do that. Yeah, people, get the likes up, people, man. My algorithm is down at the minute, so we need to get the algorithm up, people. So make sure you guys are hitting the like button on the video. It's good to be back. It's not good to be back in this certain situation because I don't really like the fact that we are talking about, you know, player FC and player this and that. Like, it's not a good look, man, for Man United. Like, I don't want to be coming on here and people, Man United fans shouldn't be choosing one or the other. We should be under one kind of leadership. We should be under one manager. We should be under one, like, one rule. That's just the way it should be, man. Shouldn't be a case of, oh, take this side and take that side. And this has happened all under the Glazers ownership, man. Everything that you're looking at right now, every problem, Maguire, every single situation that you're looking at right now has happened. One of the other reason that the Glazers have never managed this football club correctly, whether it's giving out wages, whether it's giving out, what do you call it, price tags and whatnot, silly money. The fact that we overpaid for Antony, the fact that we waited 2 years to buy Sancho and then offered him 350k a week, like, all these things play a factor in a player's demise when you actually deep it. Like, everything, there's a factor for everything that the Glazers have done that has caused what's gone on the football pitch. You look at the Super League, you're looking at the fans discontent, like, everybody and every one of them in terms of the Glazers ownership have caused an issue at Man United. Like, everything, like the stability of Man United, it's not been great, and that has come down to the fact that the manager has had to deal with on and off the fields. Why is he having to deal with that? Why can't he concentrate on the football? But again, it's not great, is it, man? Dortmund are laughing at Man United and Sancho. Dortmund, listen, Dortmund got their money. They get their money. They got it tenfold, and they were laughing, mate. They're laughing right now, and he probably does end up coming back to Dortmund. And maybe the grass isn't greener, but when you get the opportunity, of course, he's going to take that opportunity. Of course, he's going to be like, you know what? I'm not gonna refuse the opportunity. He's not gonna do that, people. It's as simple as that. So I didn't expect Jadon Sancho to ever not take this opportunity. Like, he was always gonna take that 350 grand a week. Like, I don't understand where people say, oh, he should not have took the money. Of course he was. But why was he not gonna take that money? Like, that's just the way I kind of look at it, people. He was always gonna take that money, you know? So it is what it is. Yeah, yeah, definitely. We'll be doing a watch along later. 100%. Yeah, we'll be doing it around about 7 o'clock. So make sure you tune in, people. We're live as well at 5 p.m. as well for Rivals Talk. So make sure you're here for Rivals Talk. I would take him at Arsenal. As an Arsenal fan, I would take him for 15 million. You lot are mocking it, man. You know what it is? When I look at it now, I look at a Premier League club. I'm trying to look. I reckon Tottenham, maybe, Tottenham. Maybe a club like that where I think there's not a big enough demand. I think when you look at it where, the manager there looks to be stern, he looks to be, a player that would let him thrive on the football pitch. I think maybe Tottenham would be a good one. They have got Kulusevski, but I think Kulusevski will naturally come into the wing position. So I think there are situations where I think Sancho could stay in the Premier League, but I think ultimately he's got to just take himself away from England, man. Like it's such a toxic environment. Like the media here, the probably the most toxic around. Like probably go to Milan. When you look at Milan, couple of English lads over there. You've got Loftus Cheek, Tamori. You've got a couple of people there, so that might help you. So maybe going to Milan might help him. Would it be better going back to Dortmund? I don't know if he would want to do that, but I think Italian league might suit him. Might suit his style of play. Not as explosive, not as fast. More technical in that regards. So it might suit his overall game. Um. So yeah, man, it is what it is. Um. Culture Camps is right about Jadon Sancho signing. Listen, I think at the start nobody knew this was going to happen, man. Everyone thought we had the winger out for the next 10 years. Everyone thought that we were sweet for the next 10 years in terms of Jadon Sancho. I thought that myself. I thought to myself, you know what? We got our right winger locked. You know what I mean? We got Jadon Sancho for the next 10 years, but it never works out like that, does it, man? When you deep and the warning signs were there. Di Maria should have been still playing to this day. He's still playing in Benfica, still playing for Argentina. We're still playing last year for Juventus and shelling it out. We're still playing for in the World Cup at the highest level. Di Maria should still be at the football club, but again, it don't work out like that, does it? When you deep it, man. Every single talent just fails at this football club, man, and it's sick. It really, really makes you sick, man. That's why I'm like, you know what? I don't want to put too much pressure on anyone now. Anyone that comes through the door right now, I don't want to put too much pressure on them, man. Because I just feel like ultimately there's some way that they're gonna fail. Yeah, it's a graveyard for talent. You're spot on. Man United, you just struggle. You absolutely struggle. You know what I mean? And there's no hope in the world for you. You know what I'm saying? It's not good enough, man. It's absolutely not good enough. Um, you know, but I just hope that, like I said, this situation, Ten Hag moves on now, but the pressure now even mounts on more on Ten Hag when you deep it, man. He's got because you've just literally gone through this situation. You've gone through the situation with Antony. You've gone through the situation with Greenwood. Now you move on now, and all the hope now is on you now, and all the eyes is on you now. Every single thing now is on you. And the results now will have to speak for itself. You've dealt with that situation. You've told this guy's a good enough, that guy's a good enough. Now we need to start performing and start playing more, better football, a better brand of football, and we need to start climbing up the ladder. We're 11th in the league now. We need to start getting up that ladder, picking up the wins now. Need to win tomorrow, win against Burnley, win against Crystal Palace. We need to go on a run. I'm sorry, but this football club needs to go on a run now. I'm sick and tired of we win one game, we lose one game. That's what we've done this season. We've won one game, we've lost another. We've won one, we've lost another. Like that has to stop. This ratio needs to stop. Need to be winning consistently. City all the way says being a United fan must be stressful. Join City. No, listen, you've joined City. I know because your name used to be United all the way. So I need to find out where the other guy's gone, mate. Because I'm telling you now, Man United is not beating Brighton. I think it's more hope than anything. I have more hope that we're going to win against Brighton more than anything. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Man United are going to win, but I think it's more hope than anything. If I'm being really, really honest with you. So let's see, man. Let's see. I think for me, ultimately, we've got to have a good game plan. You know what I mean? We can't just sit back and just do what we did against Wolves because again, Brighton are better players, better system, better manager. We can't just sit back against Brighton and just hope for the best. We've got to go all in, man. I want to see a fast, energetic, you know what I mean? Like intelligent play. I want us to see players good football, man. We need to do that, man. Like we can't just allow Brighton just to do what they do. You know what I mean? And they're gonna have a lot of the ball. I get it, but at the same time, we need to be brave on the ball as well. So I just hope Ten Hag doesn't show them too much respect, man. Because I'm sick and tired of players, teams coming into our football club and just playing the way they want to do, man. Like it's not good, man. It's not good at all. Did he call Maguire a great player? Listen, Ten Hag has a habit of saying things in a different way to what a lot of people think. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he says things in a way that, sometimes isn't sometimes, the way you kind of think. So I don't know, man. He said a lot of things in the media. So we don't know, man. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? What he's really truly been. He's not playing him. He's not the captain. So he still thinks a lot of him. Of course, he's gonna back his player in front of abuse and whatnot. That's just something that you just got to back. But great player, I'm not sure. Even I would disagree with that one. Um, what are you not saying? If Ten Hag's ruthless, Maguire would have been traded. That's one thing. You know what? I can't lie to you. Yeah, that's one thing that I found a bit inconsistent with Ten Hag is that I think Maguire should be training with the under 23s because I look at it and I think, you know what? We've agreed a fee. The manager's told you about your future. You're probably not in the first team. You know what? The manager should have made an example of him and say, "Yo, listen, man. Yo, you're playing under 23s. I don't want you here. I want to try and sell you so I can buy a centre back. Please move on. You're not fifth choice." And ultimately, that would have been the centre message. Him, Donny, there's a lot of them, not just only Maguire. Him, Donny, there's a lot of them that I would have said, you know what? You need to find a club now. Find a club. You're playing on the 21s until you do that, and then we can move on forward there. Fred went away and found a club. There's a lot of people who just need to find a club, man. But again, how do you say that? Is there a nice way of saying it? You know? Debbie says, although Di Maria at Benfica is a great story, I'm surprised he didn't work at United. Bro, listen, man. That story will forever burn me, man. He was one of the best players in world football, man. You know what I mean? At Real Madrid, he was doing bits. He was mashing up work. He was living the life. And then he comes to Man United, and it's like, yeah, yeah. It's like just literally couldn't fit what the manager wanted to do. And yes, he got robbed, and yes, there was a few lifestyle situations there. But ultimately, I'm like, bro, that signing, I don't know how it never worked, man. When you actually deep it, people, how on earth did that signing never ever work, man? It's crazy, people. It's crazy. Um, yeah, guys, hit the like button, people, man. You guys need to just hit the like button. It doesn't cost you a penny. It really, really doesn't. So it would be grateful if you guys can hit the like button and yeah, subscribe to the channel if you're new, man. Forest wants Sancho. I heard about that. Forest though, nah, he won't do that, man. He won't do that, man. He won't do that, people. I don't think he goes Forest. He could go back to maybe Dortmund. He can maybe go back to Dortmund in that regards. But to go to Nottingham Forest, bro, nah, man. Tottenham, like I said to you, Tottenham would be a good club. If in England, it would be Tottenham. Tottenham. Maybe Sancho is right about Ten Hag after all, hypocritical if he's bigging up Maguire. But you know what it is, yeah? The situation with Maguire is because he's so irrelevant to Man United at the minute. Maybe Ten Hag doesn't see him in that kind of same vein. Where Sancho, he actually believes he's got ability, so maybe he's trying to treat him in that harsh way. Again, it's still not fair because if you have a principle, you have a principle, and you have to stick by your principle. So I understand sometimes where Jadon Sancho's coming from. He feels like he could do no wrong. He could do no right in terms of what if he trains well, he's still not going to play. If he does this, he's still not going to play. There's a lot of facets to the situation. And I think ultimately, as a footballer, you have to keep going. Like when you look at life, yeah, you have to go on. Whatever you want to do in life, if you're not consistent and you give up, and I'm not saying Sancho gave up, but in the manager's eyes, if they see you're giving up in a certain way, you're not pushing in training, you're not doing the simple things right, they will be like, you are not serious because you don't give up. That's what in Ten Hag's eyes thinking, you don't give up. Simple as that. You don't give up. And unfortunately, you know what I mean? We've got to a standstill now where he believes that the manager he's given up, and that doesn't look good for Sancho because again, it's not saying he's got a history, but he went away for 3 months and the manager allowed him and facilitated him to go to the Netherlands and train on his own and get back when he needed to get back. He facilitated that. We can't forget that, people. As much as we want to say Ten Hag's in the wrong for saying what he's saying, we can't forget that he did facilitate the situation where he went away. So he's thinking, you owe me. And the way you kind of talked about me in that statement, or you gave me that kind of feeling, then you know what, that ain't on. I feel let down by you. I feel let down by what you've done to me. That's what in his eyes he's thinking, you know? Why not start Donny? I don't know about Donny. I really don't know. I don't know about Donny. I don't know what his plans are. I don't know what he wants to do. You know what I'm saying to you? So I don't really know what's going on with Donny in that situation. So I can't really comment. He should have found a club, if I'm being honest with you. Should have found a club, should have found a way of doing things. But again, it is what it is, isn't it? What can you do? Malin, Adiemi, and Sancho. That would be a good one. That would be a good little front three. But again, Malin, really? Adiemi, yeah. Sancho, yeah. But Malin, I don't rate him too tough, man. I don't rate him too tough. Ten Hag isn't wrong for saying anything low. You're snowflakes. Listen, it's not me the one that's getting the situation. Listen, if I was Sancho in that situation, yes, I'd defend myself, but I I'm looking at it thinking I need to get back into the good books, man. I need to start performing as well because I'm on borrowed time. The manager isn't on borrowed time at the minute. The manager still has a fully backing of majority of my United fans. But Jadon Sancho, I think he's got a cult fan base that support him still and will go through with him forever and ever. But there's also a fan base that are tired of him. They're like, you know what? What have you done for me to back you? What have you done for me to say, you know what? You know what? I believe you. It's gone beyond that now. That's what it's done. It's gone beyond people backing him up, certain players backing him. You know what I mean? It's gone beyond that. Unfortunately, that's just the reality of the situation. And it's at a crossroads now where he at the minute he needs to perform for an amount of games where it needs to be consistent. 10-game consistency. Not even 4 or 5. We need to see a run of games of 10 games where you are consistent. And if you do that, then that's where United fans can be like, wow, it's top, top. But we haven't saw that. We haven't saw 10 games of consistent performances from Jadon Sancho. It might have been 4 or 5 or 3 or 4, but not 10 games. Oh my God, why do people think Eric Ten Hag giving Sancho chances? He's got a right to violate him in the public media. Plus, I'm not backing Sancho. It's about right or wrong. Yeah, but we don't know the full situation, though. That's the thing, though. We will never, I don't think we'll ever know what really, really happened unless Sancho did a Piers Morgan and went out to the media. Imagine he did that, or he went to I don't know, spoke to someone, whether it's Sky Sports or whoever it is. I said, you know what? This is what happened. He probably won't ever do that because I feel like he's in the mud right now, and he doesn't need to be further in the mud. But ultimately, it's not looking good for him. The manager's now talked about standards. He talked about training. He's talked about putting effort in, no matter what. I have to keep a good culture in the football club. He's talked about all of that. And on the other hand, Sancho is now training alone. Everything speaks a lot of volumes about Sancho rather than it does about Ten Hag. Ten Hag's he's here. He's the manager. He can do whatever he wants. You know what I mean? Right now, he's the captain. he's the leader. You know, Saeed. He never had a run of games, bro. Yeah, listen, never had a run of games this season. Yeah, last season he had more games than Antony. The season before that, he was the main right winger. I get it. This season, 100%. This season, Ten Hag has, you know what? He's got his favourites. I can see that Anthony's his favourite. But Sancho has to perform, though, man. You know what I mean? And this is what it comes down to. Like, and you know what it is when I speak about output, yeah? Certain players, when you're in the Premier League, yeah, I don't think you can survive by. Maybe Grealish is probably an anomaly because he's in a great team. But certain players just have to play well and score. And that's what Jadon Sancho doesn't do. Rashford doesn't play well all the time. Rashford doesn't play well half of the time. But again, you know what he does though? He has goals. He has assists. He has input. He has output. Whatever you want to call it, he has that in his locker. So Sancho, maybe you be selfish and say, you know what? I will find the goals, and you know what? I might not be that player what takes it back or controls the game in that kind of manner. Maybe we have to, he has to put himself in that situation where he gets the goal. So outside the box, you shoot. Assist wise as well. Get yourself in the box. Get yourself in them key areas. Maybe you don't do that enough. Who knows? Debbie says, "I'm not going to lie. Sancho did this himself. It's difficult. It's difficult. But again, what I mean, everything leads towards him not being consistent for Man United. That's what it kind of does anyway, innit? When you deep it, man. The standards need to be better from him. Abdi Sheikh says Ten Hag did absolutely great during press conference. He gave Sancho zero attention. That's what you get for giving zero great performances. Yeah, well, he didn't refer to his name. When you actually look at it, the press conference, yeah, he didn't actually refer to his name. He just kind of talked about, the situation and said, you know what, standards have to be met. Standards have to be met in this regards. So boy, it ain't easy. It ain't easy, people. It ain't easy. It ain't easy for him, man. Um, if Rashford had 3 months off like Sancho did, you lot would have finished mid-table. But this is where the manager values Rashford over Sancho. It's because Rashford has input. You put Anthony, Sancho, and maybe I don't know another striker in there, Martial. You don't get high output. Rashford, you do. I I don't really like Rashford's overall game, but you know what? I respect the fact that he scores goals. I respect the fact that he gives you output and he scores when it matters or when he scores when we need him to. That is what comes down to. We should be in a situation where we should have both. Man City have both. Arsenal have both. Why do we need to pick one or the other? Why is it a situation like that where we're picking one or the other? Like, how's it come down to that? Yeah, how's it come down to that? It's mad when you deep it, people. It really, really is mad. Uh, why is Maguire on the side and Antony has not had a good run of performances? Listen, Antony's not been great. He's had isolated games. Barcelona, Arsenal at home. Antony, I'm trying to think. Europa League games has been decent. Premier League, Nottingham Forest away. Trying to think of other games where Everton away last season. He's had isolated games where I'm like, you know what? He's been decent. Other than that, people, I don't think Anthony's been great, man. And listen, this is a player that I was backing last season a lot, when you deep it, like I was backing him a lot last season, so boy, it's mad. It's mad, people. It's mad. Big up to S7 Facts Aside. I disagree. We never gave a chance to another front three without Rashford and Bruno. Also, yeah, I get what you mean. But also, Sancho, he wants to be playing with the best team as well. Donny van der Beek has to be playing with the best team. I feel like sometimes, yeah, you can't be having players play with the second team in it because you're never going to know how good they are. So I don't really like the fact that when people say, oh, he's had opportunities, but then when you give opportunities, it can't be against the second fiddle. You got to play him in the first team, but then to be in that first team, you need to have quality. So it is what it is. You have to have quality. If you don't have the quality, then it ain't easy for you, bro. It ain't easy. It never will be easy. So yeah, man, it's not looking good from his point of view, man. It's not looking good, man. Sancho has to work hard. Even the fans don't trust his performances. Yes, spot on, spot on. United said people gonna say Anthony hasn't been great, but Sancho has been there a year and a half longer and for 350 grand a week. Why is Anthony being looked at first? Listen, they can be both looked at in their own different way. And by the way, yeah, I don't think for me it's good to use wages as some sort of justification as to why a player performs. Like, I get it, it's a lot of money, but at the end of the day, who gave him that money? Again, fish rots from the top, man. Again, Manchester United gave him that money. We carelessly gave him that money. We could have said, you know what, this is what you're on, and you're coming to this football club. If you want to come and level up, come here. Liverpool ain't going to afford you. Real Madrid couldn't afford you at the time. Barcelona couldn't afford you at the time. Only Manchester United can afford you right now to pay that amount of money. So you go and do it. Or did they realize, you know what, we've got the player, so we just have to get the wages involved. That again ain't good enough, man. And to the situation, why did we go and pay that amount of money? We should have looked at Ten Hag and said, listen, I know you want your player, but again, we negotiated too late. We let it drag on all summer. Again, that's from the football club. So a lot of these things could have been avoidable. Had we bought Sancho for around about 60 million and he's on 200 grand a week, I don't think we'd be having this we'd be having a conversation about his performances, but I think the pressure would be so less. Had we bought Antony for 30 odd million, I think the pressure would be less and therefore might actually play better. Because when you don't have that much pressure hanging over you, players don't feel then they have to A, force it, B, play with something that's over their shoulders and you know what, they're a bit nervous. You know what I mean? So I just feel like for me, ultimately, like you can't be scared, man. You can't be scared, you know? And the football club, when you look at it, have done it where they've just bought signings for willy-nilly, like just for no reason. Um, let's see what you guys are saying. Make sure you guys are liking the video, people, man. If you're not liking already, then I don't know what you're doing, people, man. I don't know what you're doing. Literally, I don't know what you lot are doing. You have to hit the like button. It helps the channel out massively. If you don't, then it's difficult. It's difficult, man. We're on 189 likes. There's nearly 500 of you in here. What's going on? You lot are moving like Sancho. You lot are talking about Sancho, and you're saying that he isn't good, but yet you lot are doing what Sancho does. Inconsistency with the likes, man. Big up everybody here. Pressure comes with a job. Yeah, nah, spot on, man. Pressure comes with a job. Pressure comes with a job, but pressure makes diamonds. What's the old saying, people? Pressure makes diamonds, innit? Like you gotta rise up to it, man. If you can't hack the heat in the kitchen, then you have to get out, as Lauren says. You have to come out of the kitchen. The manager is stubborn, man. The manager's stubbornness might get him sacked. He might do. It might do. The manager's stubbornness might eventually get him the sack. But ultimately, he's still got to put the guidelines out there. He's not got to say, I'm under pressure. I've not won in 2 or 3 games. I therefore have to still play. I therefore have to play you. He can't say that, can he? He can't say that, can he? When you deep it, people. So he's got to understand everything and realize like what he's done is a madness. You get me? So yeah, man, it's crazy. People, lazy people like Sancho, other managers are doing nothing either. Nothing here either. Yeah, listen, that's what I said to people, man. Ten Hag fails at this job. Like, I don't see any other manager coming in and doing something, especially when the Glazer here. Like, we might have short-term success like we've had with the Carabao Cup, but ultimately, what is any manager going to do under this establishment, man? It's here to fail. Like, this football club is there to fail, man. It really, really is. Anyone under it, everything under it, it's bad, man. Every minute you think you know what you're doing well, something distracts you. Every minute you're thinking, you know what, this is going to happen now, and you know what, you've got everything under control. Someone else wants to drop their say. Someone else wants to put a statement out. Someone else wants to do something mad behind closed doors and not be an ultimate professional. Someone wants to do something. Like, it's crazy when you deep it. Like, everyone always wants to do something mad. And I'm like, can we not just be a normal football club? Can we not be? I remember Ragnick, yeah, should have kept Ragnick. You're spot on, man. Ragnick had everything ready. He had the blueprint ready for us to be a successful football club. But what did we say? We said we were better than him. We said we were better than him, So I don't know, man. I don't know. Everything is like, we have the ingredients for the success, but it's like we don't want to do it. We don't want to, we don't want to put that final bit there so we can make our football club better. Ragnick, imagine Ragnick under Ten Hag. Imagine that. Even if John Myrtle wants to stay there as some sort of football person in there, then let him stay there, but have that person there that's ready to help him. Fan who hype player over club is a problem. Back Ten Hag. Listen, I think ultimately people know there's a hierarchy involved in it. Like, everybody needs to have a hierarchy involved. Right now, I just look at the situation. I'm like, I don't think there's anything to back. Ten Hag's made his decision.
He's done what he said what he's had to say. He's dropped Sancho, and we have to move on. I think this season is a long season, guys, man. This season is a very, very long season. We need unity. This is a subplot, man. This is only just a subplot. People think this is the biggest problem at the football club. Jadon Sancho being left out of the squad. Bro, you realize what is going on at the football club? Do you realize what mess we're in? Do you realize this season could be an absolute car crash? Do you realize, like, if we don't get certain targets and what we're meant to do and the second season, what we're meant to do, like we're meant to do a lot. We're meant to bridge the gap. If we don't bridge the gap, man, it's serious conversation needs to be had, man. Everyone, everyone, like not only the manager, but every single player. Move on certain players that ain't good enough. Get rid of them. Be ruthless. You know. And like I said, yeah, Ronaldo came out with his interview. What? Only in November. Literally only November. We're not even 12 months on. We're not even 12 months on, people. And that Ronaldo situation was still there. You know, and he mentioned the Ten Hag and he mentioned the Glazers and everything like that. So it's really, really like I fear for the season. That's why I went on holiday, man, because I was like, yo, you don't want to be around this season. This season is seriously like it could be peak, man. It's Netflix FC. Yeah, man. Netflix FC, man. It really is. So strap in, get your cup of tea, get everything that you want to get in. You know what I mean? And get with it. Because I tell you what, man, I don't like where the football club is going at the minute. I really don't, man. I just think it's strange. It's bad, man. It's not good for anyone, man. It's not good for anyone. People say Laura Whitwell has tweeted out. What's he said? Oh, let me see what he said. Uh, no, he's not said anything. He just said Ten Hag and Lindelof are both ready to start. That's all he said. And Ten Hag basically saying strict lines is what the club asked me to before because there was no good culture before I entered last season. So to set good standards, that's what I did, and it's my job to control. It's almost like Nanny. You remember Nanny? You remember what was she called then? That Nanny that used to be on Channel 4, yeah. And she came in, yeah, and basically she would have to look after the kids or certain families and make sure that that child there was not acting the way he was meant to be acting. And she came in and she sorted it out. You know, Ten Hag is that nanny now. He's coming in. He's having to sort out this mess, unfortunately. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Amrabat. Last bit of news on Amrabat. Let me see if there's any update on that one. Let me see. Yeah, nothing at the minute, man, about Amrabat. You might hear it tonight in his embargo. But yeah, no pictures around Amrabat. Um, yeah. He trained with the squad this week though, so I don't know what training they've been doing. So I don't know. But yeah, there is some hope that he could be involved, whether he's on the bench, whether he's not. So let's see. But guys, please like the video on your way out. It would be helpful. If we'll be very, very thankful of you if you could do that. I'll be back at 5 o'clock. I will also be doing the watch along for buying games. So if you're here later on, please tune into the watch along. I think it's 7 o'clock. So I'll be live at 7, but I'll also be live at 5. So yeah, man. And check out the stream before this if you haven't done so already. I did a stream at 11 a.m. So make sure you check out that one. And yeah, man, we're back to work, people. We're back to work. The holidays are over. And yeah, I'll see you at 5 p.m., people. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.